All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling the laws of indices. Now, I want you to think of these not as just a bunch of boring rules, but as your own personal, powerful toolkit for crushing your IGCSE math exams. This stuff is everywhere, from algebra to calculus.
Okay, take a look at this. Yeah, at first glance, that looks kind of nasty, right? You've got a fraction, you've got a negative sign, and you have a fractional power all mixed into one. This is exactly the sort of thing designed to make you panic in an exam.
But here's the thing. I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you are going to have the exact method, a simple step-by-step process to look at a problem like this and solve it with total confidence, easily.
So, here's how we're going to do it. We'll start with the absolute basics, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Then we'll build our core rulebook. After that, we'll level up with the advanced rules. Then the fun part, we'll solve some real problems step by step. And finally, we'll cover the pro tips and common traps to avoid. Let's go.
All right, let's get started. First things first, before we even touch the rules, we've got to make sure we're all speaking the same language. This is section 1, the basics.
So, index notation. All it is, really, is a clever shorthand for repeated multiplication. The big number a is what we call the base. And that little n up top, that's the index, or the power. It just tells you how many times to multiply the base by itself. So 2 to the power of 5 is just 2 times itself 5 times. That's it.
Okay, so we've got the language down. Now let's start building that toolkit. Section 2 is our core rulebook. These are the absolute, non-negotiable essentials you have to know.
Okay, these 4 laws right here, this is the foundation for everything. When you multiply, you add the powers. When you divide, you subtract them. When you raise a power to another power, you multiply them. And the easy one, anything, literally anything to the power of 0 is just 1. You absolutely have to know these inside and out. They are your bread and butter.
All right, you've got the basics. Now it's time to level up. Section 3 is where we get into the advanced tools. This is the stuff that separates the good students from the great students, the ones aiming for those top grades. Okay, this is a big one. A negative index does not mean the number is negative. So many people get this wrong. It's just an instruction. It means flip it or take the reciprocal. So 5 to the power of negative 2 simply means 1 over 5 to the power of 2. It just moves it to the other side of the fraction line.
And this is why it's so important to see them side by side. These two ideas cause so much confusion, but they do completely different jobs. A negative index means flip. A fractional index means root. A negative index flips the base. A fractional index finds the root of the base. Don't mix them up.
And here it is, the secret weapon for fractional indices. That little fraction is a 2-part command. The bottom number, the denominator, is the root. The top number, the numerator, is the power. The absolute number 1 pro tip is to always, and I mean always, do the root first. Why? Because it makes your number smaller and way easier to handle. So for 8 to the 2/3, find the cube root of 8 first. That's 2. Then square it. Done.
All right, theory's over. Our toolkit is packed and ready to go. Let's actually put it to work and solve some problems. Section 4, let's do this.
So, here's a classic exam-style question. We've got brackets, powers, numbers, letters, the whole shebang. Looks a bit messy, but we just need to break it down step by step.
Okay, first things first, let's tackle that numerator. That power of 3 on the outside hits everything inside the bracket. So 2 cubed is 8, and a to the power of 4 cubed. We multiply the powers, so that's a to the 12. Now it's just a simple division. 8 divided by 4 is 2. For the letters, we subtract the powers. 12 minus 5 is 7. And there's our final answer, 2a to the 7.
Hey, look familiar? It's that monster from the beginning. Well, guess what? You are now fully equipped to take this thing down. No problem. Let's use our system.
And the secret, the whole key, is to follow a system. There's an order to it. First, attack that negative sign. What does it do? It flips the fraction, so we get 27 over 8. Second, deal with the root, the denominator. The cube root of 27 is 3, the cube root of 8 is 2. So now we have 3 over 2. And finally, step 3, deal with the power, the numerator. Square it. 3 over 2 squared gives us our final answer, 9 over 4. See? Totally manageable when you have a system.
Okay, one more. This is a big one for the higher grades, solving an equation with indices. Now when you see this, The trick isn't to panic. It's to look at those base numbers, 4 and 8, and ask yourself, what do they have in common?
And here's how you do it. The entire game is about finding a common base. You spot that 4 is 2 squared and 8 is 2 cubed. Perfect. Rewrite the whole equation using base 2. And once you have the same base on both sides, boom, you can pretty much ignore them and just set the powers equal to each other. And that leaves a simple little equation to solve. X equals 7. Brilliant.
Okay, you have the skills, you know the rules. Now let's talk about how to not throw away easy marks on exam day. This is Section 5, the common traps and pro tips.
I cannot stress this enough. This is probably the #1 mistake I see students make over and over again. When a bracket is raised to a power, that power applies to everything inside. You have got to remember the number out front, the coefficient. It's not 3x to the 6, it's 3 cubed times x squared cubed, which gives you 27x to the 6. Don't fall for it.
And here are a few other quick pitfalls to watch out for. It's easy to mix up the multiplication and the power rules. One is add, one is multiply. Be so careful with brackets around negative numbers. They change everything. And let me say it one last time. For fractions, do the root first. Please.
So after all that, you might be thinking, why does this matter so much? Well, as the guide says here, this isn't just some random topic you can forget about. This stuff is the absolute backbone of algebra, of calculus, of working with standard form. Getting this right now unlocks so much of the rest of your math journey.
Think about it. Just a few minutes ago, you saw a problem that looked really tough. And now you have the exact toolkit to solve it. You've built the skills, you know the strategies, and you've seen the traps to avoid. So the only question left is, what problems are you going to go out and solve now?
Thank you so much for watching! And for more helpful videos, math and science videos, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you soon!